The real T with double D, yeah. Grab your tea and take a seat, cause we got something to say. We bring you that news when it happens same day. All of it be accurate, cause we give it to them straight. And the real T with double D don't spread nothing fake. Wanna hear news about politics, then go on here subscribe. Like the channel 12, we bring it to them live. With updates by Trump trial and how he facing time. We gon' let you know the real about the news and crimes. Speak on all topics and we make it interesting. Post them on the channel, now they wanna call us messy. When celeb news exposed, we be on it in a second. Blackery while I'm black, we accurate, not guessing. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D.
Hey players, welcome to a brand new episode of The Real T with Double D. Of course, I'm your girl Double D, and we are streaming live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm so excited to be with you all tonight to record a brand new episode of my podcast that streams wherever you stream your podcast. I hope y'all are having a footloose and fancy free night, honey. I know y'all was looking around like, damn, Double D, it's 10:30. It's 10:31. It's 10:32. It's all the way to almost 10:40. Where the hell you at? I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I had a hard time finding stuff I want to talk about tonight, honey. I declare. It's been a disgrace because I did a number of videos today, which is odd for me. On a Wednesday, I kind of usually save a lot of the tea for the night for my podcast and whatnot. But today I did about 4 videos, which, you know, that's kind of a lot for Double D these days. But I just wanted to get those things out there real quick. But that kind of left me where I didn't have a whole lot to talk about tonight on this episode. But either way, honey, I am here ready to spill this tea. I do have a very good show for y'all, so I hope y'all are ready to grab your tea. I hope you're having a seat because, baby, it's going to be real good. So before I get started, just remember I'm recording this for my podcast. I won't be able to interact with you as much as I would like, but baby, I appreciate all of you ones that come and join me live every single week. I don't know if I have any of my regulars in the building. Andrea, Lisa, Miss Murdis, I know she's over on Tickety Talk. I don't know if I have any of my regulars in the building tonight. Risa, I see her in the building. I really appreciate you guys for coming through and riding and flying with your girl this week. I really, really appreciate y'all. Now, baby, I want y'all to grab that tea, have a seat, honey, because it is time for us to get into this first story. Let's talk about Hunter Biden. All right, players. So, of course, we got to talk about the biggest news of the day today, and that was Hunter Biden showing up down there to the Capitol today. Today, he said that he was going to make it do what it do when he needed to make it do what it do. He was ready to testify before the oversight committee, honey, but baby, they didn't want him to testify in public, so he shook a tail feather after he let them have it, honey. I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. When Hunter Biden was speaking, honey, I had to clutch my invisible damn pearls because I was very impressed with Hunter Biden admitting his wrongs, saying that basically saying the only thing my father is guilty of is being a good parent. And that is pretty much the sentiments of a lot of people in the world. It's like it's been 11 months into this investigation and we have seen absolutely nothing to implicate President Biden in being anything other than a good father, what anybody would do in situations that Joe Biden and his son and his family were in. So today, Hunter Biden, he scurried on down there to the Capitol. He went down there, according to him, with the intentions of testifying before the oversight committee, but he wanted to do it in public, but the GQP didn't want it. So he stayed outside, and this is what he had to say outside in front of the Capitol.
I'm here today to make sure that the House Committee's illegitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies. And I'm here today to acknowledge that I've made mistakes in my life and wasted opportunities and privileges I was afforded. For that, I'm responsible. For that, I'm accountable. And for that, I'm making amends. But I'm also here today to correct how the MAGA right has portrayed me for their political purposes. I am first and foremost a son, a father, a brother, and a husband from a loving and supportive family. I'm proud to have earned degrees from Georgetown University and Yale Law School. I'm proud of my legal career and business career. I'm proud of my time serving on a dozen different boards of directors. And I'm proud of my efforts to forge global business relationships. For 6 years, MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family, and my friends. They have ridiculed my struggle with addiction, they have belittled my recovery, and they have tried to dehumanize me, all to embarrass and damage my father, who has devoted his entire public life to service. For 6 years, I have been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack with your players. When he said that part, I'm here. Y'all don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me when I say it. But the only thing I could think of was the color purple. I may be black, poor, I may even be ugly, but dear God, I'm here. I'm here. I promise y'all. When he said that part, I'm here, that was all I was thinking about was the color purple. Speaking of which, the new color purple is premiering on Christmas Day in theaters. So make sure y'all go check it out. It's starring Fantasia. I think it's got Halle Bailey in it, or Chloe Bailey, one of those. So they say it's pretty good, honey. Now I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack, which I'm not one for remakes, but baby, that's one that I'm definitely gonna take a gander at. I'm definitely gonna see what it's doing and making sure it's making it do when it need to make it do what it do. You heard me. So anyway, so Hunter Biden, baby, when he said I'm here, I was thinking about the color purple. Basically the House GQP, they said that they did not want Hunter Biden to testify down there, and now they went ahead and advanced that impeachment inquiry, and this is what they had to say when they found out that Hunter Biden was outside. Well, what in response to Hunter Biden not wanting to testify before the committee behind closed doors.
Hang on one moment. We've been waiting to figure out what James Comer and Jim Jordan are going to do. James Comer is the chairman of the committee from Kentucky. Jim Jordan from Ohio. Let's see what they have to say. Initial reaction now.
We issued a lawful subpoena to the president's son that we expect him to come in and be deposed. This is a normal process in an investigation. This has been a serious, credible, transparent investigation from day one. We've published 4 bank memorandums. We've had countless press conferences. This is an investigation about public corruption at the highest levels. We have accumulated mountains of evidence that's concerning to an overwhelming majority of Americans. We have specific questions in there, and I think we're going to allow you in there to see the piles and piles of documents, of bank statements, of emails, of text messages that we've worked very hard on in this committee over the last 8 or 9 months. We expect to depose the president's son, and then we will be more than happy to have a public hearing with him. With that, I'll turn it over to Chairman Jordan.
Well, I would just echo what the chairman said. You know, we're disappointed that he didn't show up. I mean, he was just across the way at the Capitol. You think he could have come here and set the question. You do it in an open format now, you're going to get filibusters, you're going to get speeches, you're going to get all kinds of things. What we want is the facts, and the way you get the facts in every single investigation I've been involved in is you bring people in for an interview behind closed doors where you can get those facts. And then, as the chairman said, we'd love for him to come public. Finally, I would say this: Mr. Biden's counsel and the White House have both argued that the reason he couldn't come for a deposition was because there wasn't a formal vote for an impeachment inquiry. Well, that's going to happen in a few hours. We think it's going to pass. We think the House of Representatives will go on record with the power that solely resides in the House to say we are in an official impeachment inquiry phase of our oversight. And when that happens, we'll see what their excuse is then. They should have been here today, but once we take that vote, we expect him to come in for his interview, for his deposition. And frankly, we'll also, I think, look at contempt proceedings as we move forward. With that, we'll take your question.
Why not just call his bluff? I mean, he's here, and he's obviously not wanting to sit for a deposition. This could be one chance you get to hear from him. Why not just call his bluff and see if he's willing to sit?
Because there's a way you do investigations, there's a way you're not. Everyone I've been involved with, from clear back to the IRS targeting conservatives, to Benghazi, to the impeachment people, everyone, you do it in a way where they come in for private. This is what the Democrats did. Don Jr. had to testify twice in a deposition setting, 2 different committees, but somehow that doesn't apply to the Biden family. That's not how it works in our country. It's supposed to be equal treatment, the same treatment under the law.
When are you going to vote on contempt? When is contempt?
And that is coming from Jim Jordan, who did not testify before the January 6th Select Committee. He actually ignored that subpoena. It's pretty rich coming from those spaghetti lips, but I digress. So with Hunter Biden's decision to ignore the subpoena, it was very significant because it means that Hunter Biden could be held in contempt. More broadly, it represents a new and more aggressive front in President Biden's family response to the Republican-led impeachment battle unfolding on Capitol Hill regarding President Biden's potential role in his son's business dealings. Now, the White House was aware of Hunter Biden's plans to make the comments, according to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, and she said the following: the president was certainly familiar with what his son was going to say, and I think what you saw was from his heart. And she declined to say if President Biden offered an input on the statement. Now, Hunter Biden's long-held position on his deposition is that he wants to testify in public in an open court, in an open hearing. He doesn't want to be behind closed doors because the Magamites often misconstrue or just plain out lie statements that have been made. We have seen them time and time again. I mean, that was just in a committee hearing, I believe that was last month or the month before last, when AOC had to call out Byron Donalds, who presented a text message, and he presented it in such a way as to, like President Biden, I believe, had responded to a text message about some money, when it really was something totally different. They don't know where he got that text message from. He brought that text message up in an open forum out in public, and it was a fabricated text message, and AOC actually had to call him out on that. So we have seen them several times do things like this, twist and turn evidence. We saw it just recently last week with James Comer, who presented, thought we had a smoking gun here, that President Biden was really guilty of receiving his portion of this $24 million. And turns out there was evidence in the laptop, that they always talk about, that Hunter Biden has acknowledged that is his. He actually acknowledged it this morning, saying that those items were stolen from him. And within that laptop, it was justification for those $4,000 payments. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. If somebody was paying me $24 million, they're going to have to pay me more than in $1,500 payments, honey, because, I mean, even if I'm trying to hide something, the least you could do is give me something that won't ping. And I believe that for the, what is that, $9,999 that you can send without having to fill out that paperwork to go to the government. So you at least go have to transfer that much into my account before not no damn $1,500, but I digress. So that's what's going on with Hunter Biden. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes forward. If Hunter Biden will end up testifying behind closed doors, or will the Republicans go ahead and fold? Will they hold Hunter Biden in contempt because he refused to testify? Or, which I'm getting to next, will they subpoena him again since they have successfully passed this impeachment inquiry vote? Y'all, with that being said, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into that impeachment inquiry. So today, House Republicans finally, successfully, it's not finally, so I'm going to backpedal and pussy pop out of that comment. Not finally, but they went ahead and passed that impeachment inquiry. It was along party lines with all Republicans voting yes and uh, one Democrat not voting, and then the other 212 Democrats voting against the impeachment inquiry. Now, again, the U.S. House of Representatives voted today to formalize and authorize its ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Biden as Republicans unite behind the effort, even though they have yet to find evidence of any wrongdoing by President Biden. Speaking of which, we have one of the senior Republicans, Chuck Grassley, saying here on video that he has seen absolutely no evidence to support any type of wrongdoing by President Biden.
He said that his father was not financially involved in any way with his business. Do you accept that?
I'm going to take the same position I've taken since 2019, that all I can say is there's some indication of maybe some compromise with China particularly, but I have no evidence of it, and I'm going to just follow the facts where they are, and the facts haven't taken me to that point where I can say that the president's guilty of anything.
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. After 11 months, you have seen absolutely no evidence to support that President Biden has done anything. Listen, we all know Hunter Biden was up to some shady shit. We know he was using that WhatsApp app to talk to different people and telling them that President Biden was in the room, making it appear that President Biden was in cahoots with all this stuff. But they cannot prove that President Biden was involved in anything. And I think it's damn ridiculous and a high bullshit mess that once again the Republicans are spending time trying to bury President Biden because he beat Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. Because in my opinion, that's all this is about. Now y'all go ahead and take a listen to this.
Trump tried to blackmail a foreign head of state to dig up political dirt on Joe Biden. Donald Trump tried to overturn an election because he lost to Joe Biden, sending a violent mob here to the Capitol on January 6th to try to stop the certification of the election. Donald Trump's kids stole money from a cancer charity. Donald Trump's son-in-law took $2 billion from the Saudi government in a deal so shady that it would make even Richard Nixon blush. Donald Trump has been indicted more times than he's been elected. And it's clear to me why Republicans are going after Joe Biden and trying to drag his name through the mud. They want to help normalize Donald Trump's corruption and criminality. They want to convince people that everyone does it, so it doesn't matter. Well, guess what? Everyone doesn't do it, and it does matter. There's no comparison, none whatsoever, between the decency, civility, and public service of Joe Biden and the criminality, corruption, and abuse of power of Donald Trump. Republicans launched this absurd inquiry almost a year ago, and here's what we've learned. We've learned that this investigation has received extraordinary cooperation from the Biden administration and has yielded mountains of proof that all confirms President Biden follows and respects the law. We've learned that President Biden is a good dad, that he loves his son unconditionally. We've learned that his son, Hunter, lost his mom and sister in a terrible car accident. He lost his brother to cancer. This is someone with a lot of trauma in his life and who sadly turned to drugs. And we've seen that Republicans have sought to weaponize that trauma and use it to attack President Biden and his family. Frankly, it's just disgusting. I mean, we literally had Marjorie Taylor Greene hold up explicit photos of Hunter Biden at a committee hearing. And it's unclear to me whether Republicans are so full of it that they actually believe this stuff or it's all for show. But either way, I find it to be so awful and just really offensive and quite frankly rotten. And after 10 months of digging and tens of thousands of pages of documents, all Republicans have proven is that President Biden did nothing wrong.
President Biden did nothing wrong. So here we are again. So the White House has dismissed this inquiry as unsubstantiated by facts and politically motivated. President Biden is, as we know, preparing for an election in 2024, a rematch with Donald Trump. Frump it up is the first president in history to be impeached twice and is currently preparing for 4 upcoming criminal trials. This effort will almost certainly fail to remove President Biden from office. Even if the House Republicans vote to impeach him, the Senate will have to vote to convict him on these charges by a 2/3 vote, and that's near impossible in the chamber where President Biden's Democrats hold a 51-49 majority. But it could keep Republicans it could help Republicans highlight their allegations of corruption through much of the 2024 campaign. The vote comes 3 months after Republicans informally began their probe, and they have been investigating President Biden since they took control of the House. It's ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess, but I'm not surprised. So MAGA Republicans are continuing. They voted to continue this inquiry. So we'll just have to wait to see what comes out in the Washington arrangement. Will they go ahead and re-subpoena Hunter Biden or issue another date for him to testify, or will they go ahead and have him testify behind closed doors, or will they vote to hold him in contempt? It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out in the Washington arrangement of this, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a shit show on wheels. Once again, them not doing a damn thing for the American people. All right, players, go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, because we're going to talk about the latest with Frumpy to the motherfucking dog. Baby, I lied. We got to talk about human skid mark Giuliani. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Baby, I don't know how human skid mark Giuliani is going to make it out of this one. I really don't know. I mean, if he don't fold, I will be damn well surprised. So as we know, human skid mark Giuliani is in court in New York on this for this defamation trial to simply determine damages. Remember, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss have already won their lawsuit against human skid mark Giuliani. This is just to determine damages. Now, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss have asked for $43.5 million in damages from human skid mark Giuliani. Human skid mark Giuliani is currently being sued all over the world. He's writing hot checks to his ex-wife. He isn't paying his attorneys. I don't know if human skid mark Giuliani got that kind of money. Also, he's facing a criminal trial in Georgia. Hunty, they seeking a lot, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I hope they get every cent. So yesterday, Shay Moss testified. Now, this was after. Okay, so the trial started on Monday. Human skid mark Giuliani was late as hell. The judge was pissed to the highest level of festivity. They began the jury selection and all of this kind of stuff. His attorney said that human skid mark Giuliani was apologetic, that he was sorry for what he said, and if these kind of damages were awarded against human skid mark, it would be to the death of him. Basically, he can't afford to pay the money, and it would cause him to perish. I guess that's what he meant. So and he said that human skid mark felt bad about the things that he was saying about about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. However, when human skid mark Giuliani got outside the courtroom, he must did get the memo, honey, because when he was pressed by reporters, he actually stood up there and reiterated the things that he had said about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Y'all take a listen.
Whatever happened to them, it's unfortunate if other people overreacted, but everything I said about them is true.
Do you regret what you did to Ruby
Of course
Freeman?
I don't regret it. I told the truth. They were engaged in changing votes.
There's no proof of that.
Oh, you're damn right there is. Stay tuned.
So human skid mark Giuliani stood outside of the courthouse after his attorney had just stated that he was sorry, that this just wasn't, I mean, he's just an old, weak and feeble man and all this kind of stuff. He stood out there and defamed them people again. And baby, the judge was pissed to the highest level of festivity yesterday. So he actually admonished human skid mark Giuliani, tapped their forehead a little bit and told him that he may have just got himself into another defamation claim by Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. So Shay Moss testified yesterday that she couldn't go anywhere. She said that her life had been forever changed by what was going on. She said that she couldn't go home. She can't work any of these things because of all of the threats and how she felt in danger because of the things that human Skid Mark Giuliani, and she said it, frumpy to the motherfucking dump, did, painting her as a person that would commit that sort of type of fraud. The frumpy dump tank sniffers were calling her an addict and all kind of stuff. So it was very, yesterday was some very moving testimony by Shay Moss. But today, Ruby Freeman took the stand. And Miss Ruby Freeman, she once went by the nickname Lady Ruby. It was a nickname given to her because she was classy and unique. Now, she testified today after the 2020 election when Frumpy Dump and human Skid Mark Giuliani accused her and her daughter of committing election fraud against Frumpy Dump. She began to receive an onslaught of violent and racist threats, and it forced her into hiding. She said she don't have a name anymore. She said that she struggled through tears as she was testifying. She was there for over 90 minutes, and they went over some tweets that human Skid Mark Giuliani had done on December 3rd. They also showed video footage of where human Skid Mark Giuliani showed video footage of Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss and accused them of ballot harvesting. She said that was the morning where she started receiving emails and messages on her phone of threats, and they actually played some of those threats in the courtroom. Now, they played what human Skid Mark Giuliani was saying to people, and then they in turn played some of the threats, and I have some of them here for you today.
How can they say there's no fraud? Look at that woman. Look at her taking those ballots out. Look at them scurrying around with the ballots. Nobody in the room, hiding around. They look like this. They look like they're passing out dope, not just ballots. It is quite clear they're stealing votes.
Lady Ruby, you're going to prison. You're going to go to prison. You're going to sit there and you're going to live with the rats and the maggots. Die, you racist.
Turn yourself in before you get caught for treason and go to jail. Have a nice life. What's left of it you have.
We're going to burn your store down, and we're going to burn all those clothes that you sell that nobody wants. Oh, and your daughter, she's a prostitute crap egg.
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. This is the first, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. It's so very sad. So Ruby Freeman said ever since that day, her life has just been messed up. The threats forced her to stay with family for weeks, making her feel like a homeless person. She says she has a house, but she can't even go home. She can't go anywhere. She also added that she ultimately moved, but didn't introduce herself to the neighbors or put utilities in her name. She recalled hearing her daughter testify in the courtroom yesterday. She said that Shay Moss' life was also flipped upside down. So very sad. So human Skid Mark Giuliani has basically denied that he defamed them. Then in the same term, his attorneys is arguing that that he's sorry for what he said, but basically any type of damages ruled in these cases will basically end things for the weak and feeble human Skid Mark Giuliani. Now, human Skid Mark Giuliani was asked, would he be testifying, as the plaintiffs have rested their case. So human Skid Mark Giuliani can begin his defense tomorrow, and this is what human Skid Mark had to say.
No comment. The court order is pretty complete with regard to that. I respect it. After all, there's only a day or two more to go, and then we'll be able to exercise our right of free speech, God willing, like every other American.
You're going to testify tomorrow?
I intend to.
What does that mean?
You always leave them guessing, right? When I was a prosecutor, defense lawyers never told me if the guy was going to testify or not.
I sure as heck am not going to tell them whether I am or I'm not, so we better assume that I am.
Well, yesterday you said the truth would come out, so is this a change from yesterday?
The truth, we're not over yet.
All right.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I said, excuse me. The truth will come out. The truth will come out. I didn't say when. So it will come out.
Are you going to do a TV show tonight?
It's been 3 years. What's the holdup?
8 p.m. tonight.
8 p.m. tonight?
Thank you. Do you think nothing. I'm not going to comment on.
It's been 3 years. What's taking so long?
All right, thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Recordings they played today and stuff like that. People saying stuff. Do you have any control over what other people
I
say?
had nothing to do with those.
Do you have any reaction to those recordings? How do they make you feel?
It doesn't refer to me. I don't even know who those people are. All right, thank you guys. Same time, same place tomorrow.
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So Human Skidmore Giuliani says he may testify, he may not. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much the damage is in this case. Human Skidmore has already lost the case. Basically, he had a default judgment because he refused to comply and give the things that Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss were asking for. He's also been ordered to pay the attorney's fees. I think he was ordered to pay $90,000 in attorney's fees for Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss's attorneys already. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, what comes out in the Washington arrangement. Whatever it is, honey, I'm going to be here for it all. All right, players, I want y'all to grab y'all tea and have a seat because now it's time for a little update on Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. All right, players. So I'm just going to give y'all a little update on Frumpy Dump's trials. Now, baby, it's... Child, it's really damn ridiculous and a hot boo boo shitty mess. Now, the first thing I'll tell you is there was a fire outside. The civil trial is over. The attorneys are expected to, I believe that they're expected to give their closing arguments tomorrow. I believe it is, and then a ruling is supposed to be decided by next year in the civil trial in New York with Attorney General Letitia James. Now, today, the court had to be evacuated because some man, which they're not naming him at this time, actually set a fire to some papers outside the courthouse. Now, they're not saying if, in fact, this person was a Magamite, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. It wouldn't surprise me. In fact, I would bank on him being a Magamite that was out there trying to show and prove their love for Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. So that's what's going on in that case. In my opinion, we didn't find out anything during Frumpy Dump's defense that would warrant me to cover this every single day. I mean, I got sick and tired of it. I mean, the only thing we learned is that this expert that came up there that did a big flop basically was paid, I believe, almost $1 million for their expert testimony, but they said that it was very contradictory to all of the evidence and the financial documents and different things like that were presented. I mean, it's really damn ridiculous and a hot boo boo shitty mess, and I can't wait to see what comes out in the washing and the ranching of this. So that is what's going on in that case. Now, we got to talk about my girl, E Jean Carroll, because we got a very big win in her case today as well. Frumpy Dump's immunity in E Jean Carroll's case was denied by the appeals panel. So a federal appeals court has ruled that Frumpy Dump cannot assert his presidential immunity in that defamation trial in that defamation lawsuit brought by E Jean Carroll, denying Frumpy Dump's bid to avoid the civil trial next month that and basically this is going to be a Supreme Court thing because Frumpy to the motherfucking dump is going to appeal it. A 3-judge panel for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled against Frumpy Dump, finding that presidential immunity could be waived as a defense and that Frumpy Dump had in fact waived it. The panel went on to reject Frumpy Dump's various arguments for why he should be able to assert the defense. Now, in the ruling, they said recognizing presidential immunity as waivable reinforces, not undermines, the separation of powers and the president's decision-making authority by affording the president an opportunity to litigate if he chooses. Accordingly, we hold that presidential immunity is waivable. Frumpy, the judge wrote in the 35-page ruling. Now, of course, Frumpy Dump's Cracker Jack Box legal team, in particular, Elena Hababa, called the ruling fundamentally flawed, kind of like her, honey, in a statement, and said that Frumpy Dump will seek the Supreme Court's review. Now, as we know, E Jean Carroll already has $5 million in trust waiting on her as soon as Frumpy Dump's all of these appeals are thrown out. Now, we don't know what's going to happen at the Supreme Court. We know what's been happening there, but I got digress, honey. So it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out in the Washington arranging. Frumpy Dump's immunity appeal was his most significant remaining effort seeking to avoid the trial. The Second Circuit ruling affirms a decision issued by the U.S. District Judge Kaplan, who will oversee the trial. The judge said in a statement, "We are pleased that the Second Circuit affirmed Judge Kaplan's ruling and that we can now move forward with the trial next month." I'm sorry, that's what E Jean Carroll's attorney said in a statement, which will begin on January 16th. So we're going to move on to Frumpy to the motherfucking dump and Jack Smith. You're a mean one, Mr. Smith. I hope y'all seen my video earlier today when I almost peed my pants. Frumpy Duck Cracker Jack Box legal team that accused Jack Smith of being the Grinch. Man, I forgot my picture. I didn't put it in here. But the court, even though Frumpy Duck Cracker Jack Box legal team accused I shouldn't have said it. Now my tickle box turned up. So even though Frumpy Duck Cracker Jack Box legal team accused Jack Smith of being Mr. Grinch, the court has ruled in Jack Smith's favor, saying that the special counsel's request to expedite Frumpy Dump's immunity appeal in the election interference case is granted. So again, the federal appeals court on Wednesday granted special counsel Jack Smith's request for an expedited appeal in the election interference case against Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. The U.S. appeals court for the District of Columbia Circuit set several deadlines for prosecutors and the defense to file briefs laying out their position on Frumpy Dump's arguments that the case should be dismissed on presidential immunity grounds. No date for oral arguments have been set. Now, this decision to take up this appeal threatens to push back the trial start date, which is currently scheduled on March 4th. The appeal would be considered by Judge Karen Henderson, who was appointed by President George H.W. Bush, and also Judges Michelle Childs and Florence Pan, both appointed by President Biden. The three-judge panel is the same group who granted the motion to expedite. Now, a spokesperson for special counsel's Mr. Grinch office declined to comment. Frumpy Dump campaign spokesperson did not immediately respond to the request for a comment. The court's decision to take up the expedited appeal comes after Judge Chutkin, who was presiding over that federal election interference case, ruled that Frumpy Dump's presidential immunity claims did not shield him from charges. Frumpy Dump appealed that ruling. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I can't wait to see what is going on, what is going to happen, honey. Jack Smith has also asked the Supreme Court to quickly step in on that immunity claim. The Supreme Court has asked Frumpy Dump's legal team to respond by December 20th. So, baby, the heat is on. Frumpy Dump Cracker Jack Box legal team is going to have to do something more than read Dr. Seuss if they want this man to be granted this presidential immunity. But since they could not even check a box on a paper that says they want a jury trial, I highly doubt that they will be able to intellectually battle Jack Smith. All right, players. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, honey. That is your updates on Frumpy to the motherfucking dump and his Cracker Jack Box legal team and these cases. Fulton County, really quick. Nothing really going on there. She said that she's ready. Frumpy Dump is trying to push this trial back. We're waiting on rulings for the judge. That's the only thing that's going on in Fulton County, at least what I've seen, unless something else came up. But that's what I know on Fulton County. I'll keep you guys updated to any of the changes. And of course, y'all grab y'all tea and have a seat. Because, baby, it's time to move on. I got to talk to y'all about Filthy Face Kari Lake Cracker Jack Box legal team. I declare, what a disgrace. All right, players. So filter face Kari Lake, I declare, honey. What a disgrace. She is just like Frumpy Dump, honey. She's like formaldehyde for her legal team, honey, because a trio of her attorneys are now set to face disciplinary proceedings after filing those frivolous ass lawsuits for Kari Lake. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. So a committee that regulates attorneys in Arizona has found probable cause that 3 lawyers who represented filter face Kari Lake, the failed governor candidate, in election-related cases. And they're saying that they should face discipline, marking a significant step forward in attorney oversight process. The probable cause orders issued by Attorney Discipline Probable Cause Committee were filed this week against lawyers Kirk Olson, Brian Bloom, and Andrew Parker following the initial investigation by the State Bar of Arizona. All 3 have previously been sanctioned by judges in Arizona related to those challenges filed on behalf of Kari Lake. Those cases and conduct led to sanctions were in large parts in basis of the State Bar's investigation that have now advanced. So this probable cause order greenlights the State Bar to file formal complaints against the trio and pursue further action before a disciplinary judge. The complaints could be settled or lead to a public disciplinary hearing and action. So filter face Kari Lake's attorneys have already been ordered to pay sanctions in totaling $2,000 for lying in Kari Lake's legal challenge to her loss to Katie Hobbs. And then also they were ordered to pay $122,000 in December of 2022 after the judge filed evidence to sanction them for filing a frivolous complaint. They have, of course, appealed that sanction ruling, and we're just waiting on the judge. So there is a 68-page response. They are disputing these claims. They're saying that this charge itself, they're saying that this is, of course, of political nature, seeking to chill lawyers from raising serious constitutional issues disfavored by some. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Like I told you, filter face Kari Lake and Frumpy to the motherfucking dump are like formaldehyde to their Cracker Jack Box legal team. I just don't know how they find these attorneys that are willing to put their law licenses on the line for them. But baby, since you're willing to do that, something you had to work 8 to 10 years for, I don't feel sorry for you. You made that decision, so hey, you got to deal with it. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat because I have an update on Bridget Ziegler and that Menage a 3. Grab that tea, have a seat. Let's get into it. All right, players. So last week we talked about on last week's episode of The Real Tea with Double D, we talked about Bridget Ziegler. This is the wife of Christian Ziegler, who is the chairman of the Florida Republicans. He's the leader of the Florida Republicans. We talked about his wife, Bridget Ziegler, who is on the Sarasota board of a school board, and she is also on the Moms for. She's one of the co-founders of Moms for Liberty. Now, she has been one of the ones that have been on the front lines, being very critical of LGBTQIA plus people. She has been one of the ones that has been out there banning books when it comes down to LGBTQIA plus people. But come to find out, honey, according to reports, she was, and I'm gonna say allegedly because I didn't see the tapes, okay? Allegedly doing the bow chicka wow wow. Her and her husband were one of their friends. I declare, honey, what a disgrace, baby. They say they was kicking it in PV up in there. They was getting it down with the menage a three. So but what happened was basically Christian, he allegedly wanted to do the oochie coochie la 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 with the woman by herself. So he scurried on over to her house and hunted. There are allegations that he took advantage of her in the worst way when his wife Bridget could not be involved in the menage a three. So now we have a whole investigation into his conduct on whether he took advantage of that lady. There is a criminal complaint, and now there are calls for Bridget Ziegler and also Christian to resign. Now, Christian is not resigning, and according to this, baby, Bridget Ziegler is not resigning, baby. The Sarasota school board voted on a resolution yesterday to have her resign, and they had it in a 4-1 vote, but she has refused to resign. Now, I want you to listen to someone that was at that hearing and basically summed Bridget Ziegler up all in 3 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here again with Equality Florida. As always, we're the statewide LGBTQ civil rights organization. The harm that Bridget Ziegler has inflicted with her extremist political rhetoric, discriminatory policies, and now her hypocrisy is indisputable. Bridget Ziegler has worked relentlessly to target LGBTQ students and families for harassment and discrimination and to erase depictions of LGBTQ people from schools entirely. Now, let me be clear. Participation in same-sex activities is not shameful. However, Bridget Ziegler has done this while simultaneously denigrating our community and working overtime to instill policies that directly marginalize us. That hypocrisy is unacceptable. I've spoken here many times, and I have never once called for Ziegler's resignation. I've always hoped that despite our vast differences, we could find shared values and come together to do what's best for Sarasota students. I was wrong to believe this. The Zieglers have no core values. Their only goal is to chase political power. Bridget and Christian Ziegler have stepped on the backs of marginalized communities across Florida. They have demonized LGBTQ people, disparaged our community, and hurt our families in their quest for more power. And they pursued that power by lying to all of you. The Zieglers started the Moms for Liberty organization claiming to advance parental rights, but their goal has always been power. In the pursuit of this power, they have used parents as pawns to advance their radical right-wing agenda. The Zieglers lied to all of you. Our students deserve highly qualified and well-trained educators in every classroom. Our students deserve a wide variety of books and libraries. Parents have the right to send their kids to schools that are not overcrowded and unsafe. Instead of working on these commonly supported and unifying goals, the Zieglers attacked the LGBTQ community while dabbling in our lifestyle. The Zieglers...
All right, players. So that is what he had to say at the at that hearing yesterday. But Bridget Ziegler has chosen not to resign. Now, they did move forward where they talked about doing sending a letter to Ron DeSantis, who is the only person that can remove Bridget Ziegler. Now, a lot of people were saying that it was political theater because they talked about sending that letter to Ron DeSantis for Bridget Ziegler to resign. Now, Ron DeSantis has basically already said that he wanted Christian to resign. I don't believe he said anything on Bridget, but they ended up not doing it, that separate vote, and that vote failed. They said that she had been on the school board since 2014 and her current term ends in 2026. So they are not sending the letter to Ron DeSantis. She is not resigning, so her hypocrisy will sit there loud and proud on the Sarasota school board. She will be on their line and trying to make it seem like she's not like make it seem like she's holier than thou, and it will be hypocritical of her, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with her and her husband doing what they want to do in their bedroom. They can do everything, anything that they want to do in their bedroom. That's their business with whoever they want to do it with. It's their business. The thing is, it's not our business. But the problem with them is they make everybody else's bedroom their business, and they demonize the people for it. And that's exactly why it's hypocritical for her to sit there and talk about LGBTQIA being people being demonic. But in the same token, you at home getting it on, getting your freak on, in the bedroom, being the hypocritical queen. It makes absolutely no sense. Neither one of them. So, in my opinion, she should resign expeditiously. She should go cower in the corner. She should not be reelected. And she need to go and put her rainbow shirt on and live her best life, baby, because you buy it, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your business. It's not my business. I don't care what you do, but don't be out here judging people who are living their life like it's golden. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack. That's their business. Stay out of other people's bedroom. If this world will stay out of other people's bedroom, this world will be a better place. As long as you're not messing with no kids, I don't give a damn what you're doing there. As long as you're not doing nothing illegal, I don't care what you do. That's your business. As long as you ain't doing it loud enough where I can hear, and you're not doing it in front of no kids or putting nobody in no danger. That's what I'm taking something that you shouldn't take from nobody. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, players. I done got on my soapbox, but I had to say that, honey. Wouldn't this world be so much better if people mind their own bedroom boom? If they stop worrying about what people do in their bedrooms, wouldn't this world be a better place? It damn sure would be. All right, players. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. We got one more, honey. We got to talk about the privileged pervert. Now, I don't know. He didn't really win a stupid prize, baby, but he won something else. But we still going to play the intro because it's my favorite one. Y'all get ready to play stupid games and win a stupid prize. Players, it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. All right, players. So Hetty McForehead, the privileged pervert. I ain't got no other nicknames for him. I called him Hetty McForehead or the privileged pervert. So the privileged pervert is the recipient of the Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prize Award. But baby, I didn't award him with this award, honey. Actually, he was out there in Ohio. He was doing he was at some sort of Christmas event out there, and some man came up and said that he had an award for the privileged pervert. Privileged pervert scared his ass on up there, being happy as a flea on a dog's ass that he was about to be honored for his work for the American people. And baby, that man gave him this award for being the king of Venmo and chill with some underage girls. Y'all take a look at this video.
Only Republican in Congress who takes no lobbyist money, no special interest money. I work for you, not them. Let's go get them. Thank you all so much.
Matt Gaetz, we have an award for you. My name is Michael. I'm with the Strongsville GOP. The 2023 Strongsville GOP Award.
Thank you all so much.
Congratulations for your dedication to using Venmo to allegedly paying underage girls to have sex with you.
You're so full of it. Thank you all so much.
He's still holding the award, y'all. He said, congratulations on your work, on your award for using Venmo to allegedly pay underage. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Players, the privileged pervert. Baby, that was a good one. Really quickly, because I just sped past this and I told somebody I was going to cover it. Let's talk about Jonathan Majors really quick. So his trial, really quickly, y'all. I promise I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. Because I promised somebody I was gonna talk about this. So Jonathan Majors Now, the court of public opinion, baby, has been opinioning today because there was some more footage that was released by the judge today. Now, some people have been saying that it was leaked. The footage that we're about to look at, it was not leaked. It was actually released by the presiding judge. He approved the release of several pieces of evidence to the media on Monday. Now, one of those was some photos. One of those was some audio of Jonathan Majors and this Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama debacle. And then there was also the video from the night of the incident that shows a part of the incident. Now, the court of public opinion, when they heard about the text messages, because as we know, there was some text messages that was read out where Jonathan Majors was basically apologizing for putting his hands on his ex-girlfriend. He was putting his hands on her or whatnot. He apologized for that. And he also was saying that he was going to take himself out the game or whatnot. So those messages were there. They read those out. So people was like, and then they heard the Coretta Scott King thing and they was like, baby, Jonathan Majors, honey, you got problems. But some people have been changing their minds on this after watching the video and getting more context to the audio. So we're going to listen to a portion of the audio. I want y'all to make your own decisions. Let me know what you think. A portion of the audio, and I also have the visual for you. So let's listen to the audio first.
Could be doing right now. Period. This is actually, period. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you really though, baby? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan? I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is gonna be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No. Do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know, I'm not, I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this, my temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm gonna say, I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing.
Look, he just goes on for the next minute talking about how great he is and how wonderful he is and how she should basically be grateful to be with him and she need to act accordingly because he is the shit. And, he also has a responsibility to the public because like the Black community and all this kind of old stuff. And I'm going to keep that next comment to myself. He says he has a responsibility to the Black community. But anyway, so that was the audio. Now, a lot of people was listening to that saying that he sounds like a master manipulator. When the transcripts of that came out, people said he had a sound like a master manipulator. And they was like, something is not right with the way that he was talking to her. But now that we have a little bit more context to him saying the Coretta Scott King thing, it's like, oh, he was trying to tell her to act regal or whatnot, like Coretta Scott King, and she shouldn't be going out getting drunk and coming back home in a drunken state. So then we also have this visual. Now, y'all take a look at this video here of the incident, and I'll see y'all on the other side. You better run for it, run for it, run for it, run for it, run. Am I muted? I hope I'm muted. I don't know if I'm muted. So as y'all can see, Justin Majors was run forward. Baby Jonathan Majors was running, honey. He was running to get away from Grace. Now, listen, it appears to me that Jonathan did put his hands on her. It looks like he lifted her up and put her in a car. This is supposed to have been a dispute over a cell phone. Apparently, she saw his cell phone. She saw his cell phone or whatnot. He was texting some female on it. She took his cell phone from him, and there was a fight to the death over the cell phone. I do not look. I don't, and you know what this makes really quickly. I don't understand those type of relationships because I'm not in that type of relationship. I don't look through my husband's cell phone, and my husband don't look through my cell phone. We have never, ever done that because my husband trusts me and I trust him. We just don't have that type of relationship. So if I had been laying on my husband's shoulder and he was texting on his phone and I saw him texting somebody or whatnot, I'm not going to take his phone from him. I'm going to ask him, who the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ask him and I'm just going to confront him about it. We're not going to be fighting over no damn cell phone. You know what I'm saying? And if you that upset and hurt by what he was texting, just go ahead and leave. I know that's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? It's so easier for people to say than it to be done. But at the end of the day, if you don't trust this person enough to where you got to grab their cell phone out their hands, so you need to get validation of what you just saw, man, you already know that dude was up to no good. And then he up here in this audio talking about how he knows he has a temper, but he's still the shit. I mean, that lets me know that there's something there. He definitely, talking about he got a temper, but he's still a good guy and great guy, having to big himself up like that. Yeah, there's something stinking. The fish is stinking in that water, honey. And it's something ain't right about that situation. But a lot is on the line for Jonathan Majors. That's why we here. That's why this is such a public thing, because he could lose everything with the conviction in this case. In fact, I mean, because of the inclination of it, I mean, he probably has lost a great deal. His reputation has definitely taken a hit. But at the end of the day, honey, you trying to take somebody's cell phone. We be seeing kids these days taking teachers out the game, beating teachers, paralyzing teachers over their cell phone. You don't touch nobody's cell phone, honey. If you feel like you got to look through that man's phone, you need to get gone. Don't be going through no man's phone. If you got to go through her phone, y'all don't need to have no passwords to each other's phone. There needs to be some type of level of privacy. If you cannot trust the person that you with enough for them to have a cellular device, to the point to where you feel like you need to have access to it at all times, that is a problem. You need to leave your relationship. And I'm going to look into your eyes when I tell you this. If you are in a relationship and you feel like you need to look through that person's cellular device or their private places, then you need to leave that relationship because you don't trust that person. And if you don't trust that person, you don't have a stable relationship and you end up in situations like this. Point blank, period. Don't be in a relationship where you're not feeling appreciated. Don't be in a relationship where you feel like you can't trust the person, because at the end of the day, if you cannot trust the person, you have nothing. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So if he get convicted of that, it looked like he put his hands on her. From the slow-mo that I saw, it looked like he did, but he was also running from that ass. Now, I don't know what was behind that. I don't know if they be beating each other up. I don't know what the case may be. That ain't my business. Jonathan Majors got a lot on the line. And he gonna have to see that through. Ain't got shit to do with me. Megan Good, she gonna have to, if she gonna look like she gonna stick beside him, that's her business. But don't come nothing by 5 years talking about, oh, he was doing A, B, C, and D, because I'm gonna be giving your ass the side eye because you had an inclination about what he was saying about that Coretta Scott King shit. But I digress. All right, players. So your girl Double D is off her soapbox. I hope y'all have a precious night, honey. I am here longer than what I was supposed to be, but you know what? It don't matter because I love being here with you. I'm sorry to keep you up so late, but I really hope y'all enjoyed this brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D that will be available wherever you stream your podcast in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and y'all make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms. That way you can stay up to date on the day-to-day tea. All right, players, I hope y'all have a precious night. Thank y'all for staying. I love y'all so much. Andrea, Lisa, oh my gosh, I get Sandra, Miss Murders, all of y'all that's still out there. I love y'all so much. Hope y'all have a good night. Everybody, love everybody. Peace.
Welcome to The Real Tea with Double D. Thanks for listening to The Real Tea with Double D. Join us next week for the next episode of the most accurate news on the net. Be sure to follow on our social media platforms to stay up to date with all your day-to-day tea.